Dolo 650, the fever and pain reducing medicine which shot to fame during COVID-19 and in many instances is becoming the go-to pain relieving drug, has come in the line of fire recently. Allegations brought up in the Supreme Court were that the manufacturers of Dolo distributed freebies to doctors worth around 1,000 crores totally to prescribe the 650 mg drug. However, the company refuted the claim. In an interview with CNBC-TV18, the company said they spent around 1,000 crores over years across divisions. They indicated they have given brand reminders which have been limited to items such as pens, pads, sanitizers, masks, and they have provided scientific evidence. In any case, the company has indicated the spend had to be limited since the drug itself was under price control with a low MRP.
You can't call it freebies, it's brand reminders. We have to remind the doctors about our brands. Therefore, we give samples, we give pens, pads, and some books and some tabletop items like a pen stand or diaries or these kind of things we give. Kind of wrongly picked up, and it is getting circulation. It is 1,000 crores for several years for across the division, but somehow it got picked up like 1,000 crores on Dolo 650 during COVID. Absolutely baseless.
During the COVID-19 time period of March 20 to Jan 2022, the oral pain market grew 23% due to COVID-19 related demand. Paracetamols were prescribed over other molecules such as ibuprofen to treat COVID. During COVID-19 period of around March 20 to Feb 2022, Dolo 650 mg rose to become one of the highest selling paracetamol drugs in the country. In fact, during this time, the Dolo brand led by the 650 dose grew to enjoy 22% share of the total of over 3,000 odd crores of paracetamol-based drugs sold during the COVID-19 period, which means 22 out of 100 people were choosing to buy Dolo amongst all paracetamol drugs during that time. And in terms of sales of Dolo, the 650 mg dose, despite being under price control or the National List of Essential Medicines, managed to generate sales of over 300 crores in the COVID-19 period of March 21 to Feb 2022. The sales in some cases were over 10 to even 30 times other comparative drugs in the space.
Last year's sale, I remember, because it came up, last year we sold 362 crores of Dolo. That's the figure I remember very well. And probably the brand grew by about 80-90%. So previous year it would have sold around 270, 260 crores. The previous year, perhaps 200 crores. No, that is what we have been celebrating. 150 crores landmark, 200 crores landmark, and 250 crores, and suddenly it jumped to 360 crores. I remember. This is the bulwark figure that I can tell you. Off the cuff.
The company attributes the rise in sales to factors such as the drug itself seeing 30 to 40% growth in the past years, with growth being boosted to 80 to 90% during epidemics. Also factors that paracetamol was a part of the protocol for COVID-19 globally.
The last 25-30 years, every year we were having a very healthy 30-40% growth. And especially whenever an epidemic breaks out, it even shot up to 70-80% or even doubled. And some of the lower selling states, they even had a more than 100% growth. And whereas states with high Bs, they did grow at 30-40% or even 50% during the epidemics. This is a normal phenomenon, so we didn't deviate from that. Obviously, during the COVID also, Dolo 650 became paracetamol 650 became the protocol drug for fever category as per any guideline, international or ICMR guidelines or any local government guidelines. Paracetamol 650 became the protocol therapy.
So what could have happened? Interestingly, the Dolo 650 mg brand, which was launched in 1993, was one of the first movers in the market and has at one point even enjoyed 80 to 90% market share in the 650 mg category. Eventually, the market share settled at around 50%, which shot up to 58% during COVID-19. Interestingly, the Dolo brand sees this kind of stickiness only for the 650 mg, despite selling other strengths such as 500 mg.
We had a market share of 50% 6 years back for Dolo 650. And after the COVID, it has gone up to 58%. 8% shift in 6 years' time. So that is the market share gain, which is not a very unnatural or something spectacular or something. Of course, because other brands also did well in those categories. Even though we are the leaders, the other brands also 62 milligram did well in those categories. Therefore, our market share didn't gain substantially, though everybody says doubled, but our market share gain was 8%. Others more or less maintained, or they gained 1 or 2%. Of course, being a big brand, it is our mark. We got the biggest attraction. 500 mg variant of Dolo is very small because we were very late entrant in that. We straight away jumped into 650 milligram in 1993. 500 we came somewhere around 1998 or 2000. And at that time, there were again big brands. All the brands that you mentioned, they were all having 500 milligram and they were very big. Very difficult to get that kind of penetration when there are big leaders there.
What tends to happen, doctors and experts point out, is that the brand becomes sticky. Keeping allegations of freebies aside, experts point out that 650 mg has become a regular dosage for adults when it comes to paracetamol for years, and doctors tend to follow other doctors in terms of prescribing a drug, and this was possibly even more during a time of uncertainty during COVID-19. Dolo, experts point out, grew because of strong word of mouth, resulting in the brand almost becoming a default drug during this time. To illustrate it better, an example cited by experts is that of Crocin. The brand enjoys one of the strongest reputations in the pain and fever relieving brands when there were many substitutes available. Similarly, Calpol is more associated with children but is also available for adults. And from the ibuprofen category, Compiflam is one of the top 100 brands in the country, whereas other substitutes don't see equal traction. Lastly, where do things stand currently? Microlabs has said that they are cooperating with the information and the details required. However, business continues as per normal. They are continuing to give freebies such as pens and pads out.
Samples are going. And yes, pens and pads are going. Yes, it is regular. We have not stopped anything.
However, the larger question brought up is that currently, from a legal standpoint, what do freebies comprise of in the pharma world? As per data from the not-for-profit organization Citizen, Consumer and Civic Action Group based in Chennai, the top 7 pharma companies together had spent over 34,000 crores in sales and marketing in the last 8 years. Hence, this makes one question what exactly is allowed when it comes to sales and marketing of pharma companies. Today, lawyers point out that there are several judgments of the Supreme Court deprecating this practice, but there might be a requirement for structure to rein in any such practice as it has direct impacts on patients and their health.